Hello, thanks so much for joining me today. I'm Sarah from Soap School and today I'm going to be looking at my confetti soap recipe. I've got some soap that I made previously and some of the bars have gone a little bit ashy and I just want to rework it, and I thought this would be a really great recipe to turn into a confetti soap. So the first thing I'm going to do is to make up my lye solution. And for this, we're actually going to be using ice and just adding a little bit at a time. It's amazing how quickly the ice melts with the heat from the lye. So the great thing about confetti soaps is it's the perfect thing to make when you've got some bars that just look a little bit dodgy, or you've dinged them up, or you've maybe made too much of them. So let's pop that to one side, and now I need to chop up my confetti soap. So for this, I'm just going to take some pre-made bars, and it really doesn't matter what kind of colour they are or how dinged up they are. Honestly, it doesn't matter at all. It could be all of your offcuts even. And there's lots of different ways that you can do this, but I want these into smallish cubes. So I'm using the previous slice on the knife to kind of guide me as to where I need to cut so that they're a similar size. They don't have to be exact at all. And cut them in half and then just cube them. This particular soap was actually a summer blossom soap that I did as an homage to my rose bush in the garden. And I will put a link to this at the end of the video for you if you want to check that out. And just break the cubes up once you've chopped them, and then just repeat that for all of the soaps. You'll find that cutting your soap is actually incredibly relaxing. You can get rid of lots of stress or even anger by cutting your soap, but I find it very, very relaxing. Now onto the top of the soap, I'm going to use exactly the same offcuts, but this time I'm going to do some really small gratings. Aren't they pretty? I think they'll just look really cute all over the top of the soap. This is one of my favourite graters. It's only little, but it just makes the most lovely gratings. You really don't need that much soap. It's literally just to finish off the top, and just put a sprinkle of them all over. That's going to be more than enough. And there we have our beautiful grated soap ready. We'll put that to one side. So I have all of my confetti and my finishing gratings put off to one side, and now I'm going to make up the soap. I don't want to add any colour to this yet because there's so much colour already in those beautiful confetti pieces, but I will add some titanium dioxide to this to make it whiter so that they really stand out in the soap. To this, I'm going to add my titanium dioxide. Give it a good stir. I'm going to add my fragrance oil in at this stage as well. This particular one doesn't accelerate massively, but there is a little bit of acceleration, and that is looking absolutely delicious. Now I'm going to pour most of this white into my confetti and mix everything up really, really well, but I want to keep a little bit of the white just for the very end. I'm just going to mix it so that all of the little confetti soap pieces really get mixed in. Let's pop all of this beautiful soap into our mould. Scrape out everything that we can from there. Just level it out a little bit. Now I want to make sure that I've got no air pockets in here, so I'm going to give it a really good bash. Okay, and now I'm going to finish off the top just with that little bit of soap that we have left, and it's thickened up, which I thought it would, because as I said, that particular fragrance oil does accelerate a little bit, and that's absolutely fine because I want to texture the top a little bit on this anyway. I just didn't want those confetti cubes right on the very, very top layer. You could of course pipe this or do any type of decoration that you wanted to. There's so many ways that you can take exactly the same recipe and just transform it into so many different styles. And it's one of the beauties of making your own soap, is that you get to really challenge yourself and live that creativity through your soaps. And every time you make it, you can come up with a slightly different design. It just makes it exciting and fresh. Just level that off a little bit. I'm just going to use a spoon to just texture the top a little bit, just to create that slightly uneven pattern. Whether you just pull up or you twist, really doesn't matter. You just create different styles. Right, that gives me a little bit of texture, which is exactly what I wanted. The hard thing is to know when to stop. Okay, and there we go. Now I think that looks really, really nice, but I do want to use these lovely little soap gratings on the top as well, just as an added element. And I'm just going to literally loosely sprinkle these. Now the thing is, if we don't pat them down afterwards, they won't necessarily be in the soap itself, and then most of them will fall off. So I'm just going to tease a load of these out, and then we'll kind of tamp them into the surface a little bit. I think it would be criminal not to put a little bit of glitter with this. What do you think? To glitter or not to glitter, that is the question. I haven't used glitter in ages. I think it's definitely a glitter moment. It's calling. To tamp this down, I'm literally just going to just pat it gently so that those gratings go into that wet soap a little bit. So this is a mineral glitter. It's actually a mica rather than plastics. It's completely eco-friendly. Oh yes, look at that little dazzle. Who wouldn't want a little bit of gorgeousness in their lives? And there we go, I think that's enough. Tiny bit there, and boom! That has been frosted with deliciousness. And all I need to do now is to leave this for 24 to 48 hours, and then we'll come back and cut this baby open and see how gorgeous that looks inside. I hope you're as excited as I am to see what it looks like. Well, it's ready, and I can't wait to see how those beautiful confetti cubes look. Let's take this out the mold and have a proper look. It looks so pretty with all those sparkles on the top. So that's the bottom, and that actually looks really, really nice on its own. Okay, let's have a look. Do you know, this is the Soap Cutter Pro, and I love this cutter, but it always feels like this is on the wrong side to me. I need to have a look and see if they have like a left-handed and a right-handed one, because it's just, it should be here. For me, right-handed, it should be on this side, and it's on this side. And even if I turn it round, I'm then doing everything backwards. So it never feels right to me. But the design and the actual cutter is really, really lovely. It's just such a shame. I always feel like I'm fighting it. Let's cut this baby and have a look. Oh yes, ding ding ding, we have a winner. Look at that. Doesn't that look so lovely? And I think putting that grated version on the top with it just really, really accentuates the whole design. I love it. All right, let's just cut this Next one, without chopping it into pieces, Sarah. Oh yes. Oh, I'm very happy with this. Now I'm going to cut this on the side so that I don't take off as much of the lovely curls. I'm just so happy with the way that it looks. This is like 10 times nicer than the original design. So absolutely worth reworking this one. Do you ever work your designs again? Do you ever think to yourself, oh, I wonder if that would be better as this design or that design? I think sometimes we're in such a rush to enjoy that one soap, but if you make the soap and then use that soap to make a second soap, sometimes it can be even better. And that's exactly what I think I've got with this particular one. It's just joyful. Now, because this side was right up against the mould, I have got air, little air pockets. So just clean up that edge. Just a thin slither. Look how beautiful that looks. Definitely going to be doing something like this again. So now it's going to be a case of looking to see which soaps I could maybe improve by adding into a second design.